Imagine this. You wake up this morning, pull open the curtains, and the first rays of sunlight stream through your window. You start making breakfast, thinking about all the things you'll do today. But inside your body, something silent, something dangerous, might already be building. In the United States, every 40 seconds, someone faces it. It's called a stroke, a silent killer that strikes when people least expect it, sometimes before they even realize what's happening. Have you ever lost a loved one, a friend, suddenly, because of a stroke? Or maybe you've felt your own legs grow heavier than they used to be, your breath a little shorter, and wondered, could I be heading toward that same risk? My name is Dr. Robert. I'm 60 years old. For more than 3 decades, I've worked with thousands of patients over the age of 50. I've witnessed how fragile health can become with age. But I've also seen miracles happen when people take care of themselves, when they nurture their bodies through simple, gentle, but powerful movements. Here's the good news. 80% of strokes are preventable. And the key lies in small daily habits, especially moving your body. You don't need to run a marathon, and you don't have to train like a professional athlete. Instead, just a few safe, science-backed exercises you can do right at home are enough to keep your heart stronger, your blood flowing better, and your mind sharper each day. Before I go deeper, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you care about keeping yourself and your loved ones safe from stroke, type the number 1 in the comments below. I read every single one of those, and they inspire me to keep creating videos like this. In today's session, I'll take you on a journey through practical exercises, real stories from patients, and simple science that you can start applying immediately. I don't want this video to feel like a lecture. I want it to feel like a conversation. From me, a 60-year-old doctor who's walked this path with many patients, to you, someone who's searching for ways to live healthier, freer, and more independent after 50. So are you ready? Then let's begin. Do you remember the last time you truly walked with ease? Not rushing to make an appointment, not weighed down by stress, but walking with steady breaths, free-moving legs, and a clear, open mind. One of my patients, Linda, age 67, once told me, "Doctor, I never thought walking could actually save my life." She had lived a mostly sedentary lifestyle, often tired, her breathing heavy. After a minor stroke, she began walking just 15 minutes a day, as I advised. 6 months later, her blood pressure had stabilized, her legs felt lighter, and perhaps most importantly, she was confident again. She no longer lived in constant fear of that word stroke. And science confirms her story. A 2023 study reported that adults over 50 who walked briskly at least 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week, lowered their risk of stroke by up to 43%. That's nearly cutting your risk in half, with nothing more than your own 2 legs. But walking briskly isn't just about moving your muscles. It strengthens the inner lining of your blood vessels, the endothelium, which keeps them elastic and prevents blockages. With every step, you gently lower your blood pressure, improve circulation, and deliver more oxygen, more life, to your brain. So, how do you begin? I usually tell my patients to start with just 10 minutes at a pace where you can talk but not sing. Then, each week, increase little by little. And here's a tip many people overlook. Try taking a short walk after meals. Just 10 minutes. It not only helps with digestion, but also stabilizes blood sugar, another critical factor in preventing stroke. It doesn't matter if you choose to walk in the park, around your neighborhood block, or even on a treadmill in your living room. The key isn't where you walk, it's that you keep walking. Picture this. Every morning, instead of sitting in front of the television or scrolling endlessly on your phone, you slip on your shoes, step outside, and walk under the wide-open sky. Just 15 minutes. After a few weeks, you'll notice the difference. Your breathing is lighter, your mind clearer, your legs no longer weighed down. You see, protecting your heart and brain doesn't have to be complicated. Sometimes it's as simple as a good pair of shoes, a little determination, and one small habit repeated day after day. There's a saying I truly love. We don't practice yoga to reach the perfect pose. We practice yoga to learn how to listen to our bodies. And that's exactly what so many of my patients over 50 discover when they begin gentle yoga. One gentleman, Michael, age 72, once told me he used to be anxious all the time. His nights were restless, and every morning he woke up with a heavy head. But after joining a gentle yoga class for seniors at his community center, within just a few weeks he noticed changes. He was breathing deeper, sleeping better, and most remarkably, his high blood pressure began to lower and stabilize, without the need for extra medication. Now, this isn't some mysterious miracle. There's solid science behind it. Research shows that yoga helps balance the autonomic nervous system, the body's brake and accelerator. When we're stressed, the accelerator is overactive, pushing up blood pressure and damaging blood vessels. But through yoga, we activate the brake, calming the heart, lowering blood pressure, reducing inflammation, and ultimately cutting the risk of stroke. And here's the beautiful part. You don't have to twist yourself like a dancer or master difficult poses. Instead, start with simple movements. Sit on a chair with your back straight and gently twist. Try the cat-cow stretch to loosen your spine. Or simply lie down with your legs up against the wall while breathing steadily. These aren't just exercises, they're acts of deep rest for the entire body. I often tell my patients, yoga isn't just movement. It's the art of slowing down. When you practice yoga, you step away from life's rushing pace and give your heart, your brain, and your blood vessels the chance to restore themselves. Especially for those over 50, yoga improves flexibility, keeping muscles and joints from becoming stiff, an invaluable gift to maintain independence as we age. So I encourage you to set aside just 15-20 minutes, 3 to 4 days a week. You can pull up a beginner's yoga video online or join a gentle class in your community. And above all, listen to your body. If a pose feels uncomfortable, stop. Yoga is not a competition. It's a personal journey. Have you ever tried yoga yourself? If you have, share your experience in the comments below. I would love to read your story, because who knows, your words might inspire someone else to begin their own journey. Have you ever felt that your legs just aren't as steady as they used to be? Maybe when you go down the stairs, you find yourself gripping the handrail a little tighter. Or one afternoon, you suddenly realize your balance isn't what it once was. I've heard this from so many of my patients after the age of 50. And the question they often ask me is, "Doctor, is there something I can do to feel stronger and keep from falling?" My answer is usually simple. Try Tai Chi. People often call Tai Chi meditation in motion. Picture slow, graceful movements flowing together like water, in rhythm with your breath. But here's what many don't realize. Tai Chi isn't just calming for the mind. It can actually change how your body functions, especially your heart, blood vessels, and brain. A 2022 study published in Frontiers in Aging Neuroscience, found that older adults who practiced Tai Chi regularly experienced significantly better blood flow to the brain, lower levels of the stress hormone cortisol, and most importantly, improved balance. And that's crucial, because falls don't just cause injuries. In vulnerable people with weak blood vessels, a fall can sometimes trigger a stroke. I think of Evelyn, age 74, who came to my clinic deeply worried about falling. Her knees were weak, and she often felt dizzy. I suggested she join a community Tai Chi class for seniors. 3 months later, she returned with a bright smile. "Doctor, I walk with so much more confidence now. I can even play with my grandkids without worrying about losing my balance." The beauty of Tai Chi is that you don't need much to begin. A quiet space at home or in the yard, a simple video tutorial, or a local class, it all works. Just 10 to 15 minutes a day is enough to start feeling a difference. A body that's more flexible, breath that's deeper, and a mind that's calmer. Try this. Stand tall. Take a long, deep breath. Then slowly move your arms and legs as if you were painting soft, flowing lines in the air. Each gentle motion is a gift you're giving to your blood vessels and your brain. You see, Tai Chi is more than just exercise. It's a philosophy of life. It's about slowing down to grow stronger, tuning into your body so you can live with peace and resilience. I want you to close your eyes for a moment and imagine this. You step down into a pool, and the cool water gently wraps around your body. Suddenly, your shoulders feel lighter. You start moving your arms, kicking your legs, and you notice everything feels easier, smoother, almost effortless. For many of my patients, that feeling isn't just relaxation, it's medicine. A natural prescription for the heart and the brain. Some people shy away from exercise because of joint pain, knee arthritis, or osteoporosis. But in the water, everything changes. The water supports your body, relieving pressure from your joints, while at the same time adding gentle resistance that makes your muscles work more effectively. That's why I often call swimming and water aerobics the natural gym for people over 50. A colleague of mine, Dr. Bruce Becker, an expert in aquatic therapy, once explained that swimming doesn't just strengthen the heart, it also improves the elasticity of your blood vessels. And you know what that means? It means that every time your blood vessels need to expand to let blood flow through, they do it more easily, with less strain. That's one of the ways water helps lower the risk of stroke. I think of Paul, age 69, a retired construction worker. He once believed that at his age, the body only goes downhill. But after I encouraged him to join a water aerobics class twice a week, he came back just 2 months later and said, "Robert, I feel 10 years younger. My joints don't hurt the way they used to, and I can even climb stairs without struggling." If you've never tried, start simple. You might join a water exercise class at your community center, or simply walk back and forth in the shallow end of a pool with the water up to your chest. It may sound easy, but the water's pressure massages your blood vessels, improves circulation, reduces swelling, and keeps your heart rate steady without overexertion. Remember, just 20-30 minutes, 2 to 3 times a week, can make a real difference. And each time you let yourself float and move in the water, think of it as giving your brain a precious gift: better circulation, better oxygen, and ultimately, more years of vibrant life. So let me ask you, how long has it been since you last stepped into a pool? Maybe now is the perfect time to return. Not to compete, not to race, but to take care of yourself. Do you remember the very first time you learned to ride a bike? The nerves, maybe a few scrapes, but then that moment of pure joy. when the wind brushed across your face and the spinning wheels carried you farther than you thought possible. For many of my patients, when they return to cycling after age 50, that feeling is still there, only now it carries a deeper meaning, keeping their heart and brain strong. A 2021 study published in Circulation revealed that regular cycling helps improve cholesterol levels and reduces arterial stiffness, both critical factors in preventing stroke. In other words, every turn of the pedals is more than just exercise for your legs. It's medicine for your blood vessels. I think of George, 65, one of my patients living with high blood pressure and type 2 diabetes. At first, he was hesitant, worried he didn't have the stamina. He began with just 10 minutes a day on a stationary bike at home. Week after week, he added a little more time. 6 months later, his blood pressure had stabilized, and his internist even lowered his medication. George smiled and said to me, "Doctor, I never thought a bicycle could actually give me more years of healthy life." What I love about cycling is its flexibility. If heavy traffic makes you nervous, a stationary bike in your living room is perfect. If you enjoy the outdoors, choose a quiet, low-traffic route and take in the fresh air. And if balance is a concern, a recumbent bike offers safety and comfort without sacrificing the benefits. Even more important, cycling is gentle on the joints. Unlike running, it doesn't overload your knees or hips. Your legs still get a strong workout. Blood still flows powerfully back to your heart and brain, but your joints remain protected. I usually recommend starting with just 10 minutes at a moderate pace, a level where you can carry on a conversation but feel your heart beating a little faster. Gradually build up to 20 or 30 minutes, a few times each week. Over time, you'll feel the difference. Stronger legs, deeper breathing, and most importantly, the confidence that you hold the key to preventing stroke. So let me ask you, do you think it's time to get back on a bike, whether indoors or out? Because maybe, just maybe, the wheels you turn today are the very ones carrying you toward a longer, healthier life. Have you ever really paid attention to your breathing? Not the rushed, shallow breaths that come at the end of a busy day, but deep, slow breaths that reach all the way down into your belly, then flow gently back out. To me, that's one of the simplest yet most miraculous gifts our bodies give us. And you might be surprised to know, those very breaths can actually help prevent stroke. One of my patients, Carol, age 70, often struggled with dizziness and constant stress. I taught her diaphragmatic breathing. Place one hand on your chest, the other on your belly. Inhale slowly through your nose so your belly rises. Then exhale gently through your mouth. She began practicing for just 5 minutes every morning and evening. A few weeks later, she returned with a smile. "Doctor, I feel calmer now, and my blood pressure readings at home are so much steadier." That change wasn't random. There's science behind it. When we breathe deeply, the body releases nitric oxide, a natural compound that dilates blood vessels, making it easier for blood to flow. At the same time, slow, steady breathing calms the sympathetic nervous system, the gas pedal that makes the heart race and blood pressure climb. Instead, your body shifts into rest and recovery mode, where the heart, blood vessels, and brain get the care they need most. And the best part? Unlike exercise that might feel heavy or demanding, breathing is something everyone can do. No equipment, no gym, not even a change of clothes. Just sit in a chair, close your eyes, and give yourself permission to breathe with intention. I encourage you to set aside 5 minutes a day, either in the morning when you wake up or at night before bed. Place your hand on your belly, close your eyes, inhale through your nose so your belly expands. Then exhale slowly through pursed lips, as if you're softly whistling. Feel the air moving through you, as if it's washing away stress from your mind and clearing your blood vessels. You see, sometimes preventing a stroke isn't complicated at all. It can begin with something as simple, as ordinary, as your own breath turned into a healing practice. In fact, would you like to try it right now? Close your eyes with me for 10 seconds. Inhale slowly, hold it, then exhale gently. Do you feel just a little calmer already? I often tell my patients, we don't just exercise to be strong, we exercise to stay steady on our feet. Because after age 50, one of the greatest concerns isn't just illness, it's falling. And did you know, a fall doesn't only mean broken bones or injuries. Sometimes, it can even indirectly trigger a stroke. A 2022 study, published in Geriatrics and Gerontology International, found that balance exercises can reduce the risk of falls in older adults by as much as 39%. That number isn't just about physical safety, it's about independence, freedom, and confidence in daily life. I remember Margaret, 75 years old, who came to see me leaning on her cane. She told me she was always afraid when stepping off a curb or walking across uneven sidewalks. I showed her a few simple balance drills, standing behind a chair, lifting one foot, and holding for a few seconds before switching sides. Or practicing heel-to-toe walking as if she were balancing on an invisible tightrope. 3 months later, she returned with a new spark in her eyes. "Doctor, I can walk with my granddaughter now, without being afraid of falling." The beauty of balance training is that you can do it right in your living room. You don't need fancy equipment, just a sturdy chair or a wall for support when you're starting out. Over time, as you notice yourself standing longer and stepping more confidently, you'll realize not only are your legs getting stronger, but the connection between your brain and your body is also improving. You see, our brains have a special region, the cerebellum, that controls balance. When you practice balance exercises, you stimulate this area, improve blood flow there, and in turn, you're actively nourishing your brain. So I encourage you to spend just 5-10 minutes each day on these small movements. Think of it as a simple but priceless gift. A gift that helps you stay steady on your feet and steady against health risks like stroke. Let me ask you, when was the last time you tried standing on one leg without holding on to anything? Maybe today is the perfect day to try again, to check in with your body and see where you are and what it's asking from you. Some people say to me, "Doctor, I just can't walk in the park. I'm afraid of falling. My knees hurt. And sometimes the weather is just too cold to go outside." And I always smile and reply, "That's perfectly fine. You can start right inside your own home." Walking in place may sound simple, but it's actually one of the safest and most accessible ways to keep your legs and your heart active. You can stand or even sit in a chair, lift one knee up and lower it, then switch sides. Steady, unhurried, no rush. And if you want to make it even more effective, swing your arms gently in rhythm with your steps. One of my patients, Larry, age 68, used to complain about being too lazy to exercise because he didn't like going outside. I suggested he try walking in place while watching his favorite evening television program. He agreed, starting with just 2 minutes at a time. After a few weeks, that grew to 10 minutes, then 15. At his next checkup, he told me, "Doctor, I feel younger now. I can enjoy the news in the evening while moving my body, and it doesn't even feel like a chore." The beauty of those little steps is that they do more than just get blood flowing through your legs. They also activate the core muscles around your belly and back, which improves posture and helps blood flow more efficiently to the brain. That's why many patients, after sticking with it for a while, have told me they feel clearer in their thinking, less dizzy, and more energized. Walking in place is also incredibly flexible. You can do it for 2-3 minutes every hour if you've been sitting too long, or take 10 minutes after meals to help control blood sugar. And the best part? You don't need to change clothes, leave your house, or prepare anything. All you need to do is start stepping. I often remind people, it doesn't matter where you are. What matters is that you choose to move. Even if it's just a few small steps in your living room, it's your way of telling your body, I still care for you. I'm still looking after you. So, why not try it today? The next time your favorite television show comes on, instead of just sitting there, stand up and start walking in place. Trust me, your body will thank you for it. When we're young, we rarely think about the strength of our legs. But after age 50, every step becomes a measure of independence, of how well we can take care of ourselves. And here's something many people don't realize. The muscles in your legs don't just help you move. They act like a secondary pump, pushing blood back up to the heart and keeping circulation flowing smoothly. One of the best ways to build that strength is through a simple exercise, the resistance band leg press. Here's how it works. Sit in a sturdy chair, loop a resistance band around your foot, and slowly press your leg forward like you're pedaling an invisible bicycle. The motion is gentle, but it directly engages the big muscles in your thighs and calves. I worked with David, age 71, who was increasingly worried about his weakening legs. He told me that every time he climbed the stairs, he had to stop halfway just to catch his breath. I showed him this resistance band exercise. At first, he could only manage a few presses per leg. But with consistency, 2 months later, he was doing sets of 10 and beyond. More importantly, his legs grew stronger, his heartbeat steadier, and his blood pressure dropped to safer levels. Smiling, he told me, "Doctor, I no longer feel like a burden to my wife whenever I need to climb the stairs." Science supports this too. Stronger leg muscles help reduce blood pooling in the veins, a condition that can lead to dangerous blood clots, one of the major causes of stroke. Resistance training also fights off age-related muscle loss, known as sarcopenia, which silently robs so many older adults of their strength and independence. And the best part? This exercise doesn't require a gym or expensive equipment. Just a simple resistance band, a chair, and a few minutes a day, that's all it takes to build a shield of protection for your heart and brain. So I want you to picture this. Every time you press that band forward, you're pushing back against the risk of blood clots. Every press gives your heart a little relief. Every press sends more oxygen-rich blood to your brain. It's no longer just an exercise, it's an act of love for your body. If you've never tried it before, today is the best day to start. And remember, you don't need to overdo it. What matters is not intensity, but consistency. Have you ever thought that to get good cardiovascular exercise, you had to run hard or push yourself until you're completely worn out? The truth is, after age 50, what your body really needs isn't bursts of intensity, it's rhythm, a balance between movement and rest. And that's exactly the idea behind light interval training. Picture yourself walking along a familiar path. For the first 2 minutes, you stroll slowly, enjoying the fresh air. Then, for the next minute, you pick up the pace just a little. Your heart beats faster. Your breath quickens. After that, you slow back down, and you repeat this cycle for about 15 minutes. Sounds simple, right? But the results are truly powerful. A 2020 study showed that even gentle intervals like this can lower systolic blood pressure by 8 to 10 mmHg in older adults. That's roughly the effect of some blood pressure medications, only this comes without side effects, while also making your body more flexible and resilient. I think of Henry, 66 years old, who once told me he hated exercise because it always left him feeling drained. I suggested he try interval walking, alternating between slow and brisk. A few weeks later, he came back to me and said with a smile, "Doctor, for the first time, I exercised without feeling wiped out. It was even fun, like dancing in rhythm with my own breath." That's the beauty of light interval training. It's flexible. You can do it walking outdoors, on a stationary bike, or even marching in place in your living room. Here's a simple trick I love. Put on music with a changing tempo. When the music speeds up, you speed up. When it slows down, you ease back. Suddenly, the music itself becomes your natural coach, guiding every step. I want you to remember this. Our blood vessels are like instruments. They need practice to stay flexible, to know when to expand and when to contract. And light interval training is how you play music with your body, teaching your vessels to respond with ease. You can start today. All it takes is 15 minutes, a comfortable pair of shoes, and the decision to try. Who knows, those simple alternating steps may be adding not just movement, but more healthy years to your life. There's something I often share with my patients. Sometimes, the most dangerous thing for your heart and blood vessels isn't what you eat, it's what you think. Stress, worry, anxiety. When these emotions build up over time, they can cause your blood vessels to tighten, your blood pressure to rise, and your risk of stroke to creep closer. And this is where gentle yoga can become a key that unlocks relief for both body and mind. You don't need to perform complicated poses like the ones you see on magazine covers. Instead, think of simple, easy movements in sync with your breath. For example, the cat-cow stretch to loosen your spine, a gentle seated twist, or simply lying down with your legs up the wall while breathing steadily. One of my patients, Susan, 69 years old, had struggled with chronic insomnia brought on by stress. I suggested she try 15 minutes of gentle yoga before bedtime, combined with deep breathing. A few weeks later, she called me and said, "Robert, for the first time in years, I slept through the night. Not only do I sleep better, but I feel clearer during the day. Less headaches, less worry, more peace." Research backs this up. Yoga helps balance the autonomic nervous system, calming the heart, lowering blood pressure, and reducing inflammation throughout the body. All of these changes protect your blood vessels and reduce your stroke risk. On top of that, yoga improves flexibility, keeping your muscles and joints from stiffening, which allows you to stay independent and mobile as you age. Picture this. Every time you sit on your mat, close your eyes, take in a deep breath, and slowly let it go. You're sending a message to your heart and brain. Be at peace. You are being cared for. So I encourage you to set aside 15-20 minutes, 3 to 4 days a week, for gentle yoga. It doesn't need to be perfect, and it doesn't need to be complicated. What matters is consistency. Because it's in those slow, quiet moments that you give your soul nourishment, your body healing, and your brain protection against the storms of stroke. One of the things I see most often in patients over 50 is what I call the quiet fading of muscle. You might not even notice it at first, But every year after midlife, we gradually lose muscle mass, a process called sarcopenia. When muscles weaken, your legs feel heavier, climbing stairs becomes harder, and even your heart has to work overtime to keep up. The good news? There's a simple, powerful way to fight back. Strength training with small dumbbells. I think of Charles, 73 years old, who came to see me with osteoporosis and chronic back pain. He was afraid to move too much, worried that exercise might make things worse, but also afraid that doing nothing would leave his bones and muscles even weaker. I suggested he start with a pair of light dumbbells, just 2 pounds each. At first, he only lifted them while sitting in a chair, slowly raising and lowering them a few times per session. A few months later, he was doing multiple sets, and here's what surprised him most. His back pain eased, his bone density improved, and most importantly, he felt in control of his body again. Science supports this too. Gentle resistance exercises, like lifting small weights, don't just keep muscles strong, they stimulate bone growth, helping prevent osteoporosis, one of the main reasons older adults lose independence. Stronger muscles also keep blood flowing more efficiently, easing the workload on the heart and lowering stroke risk. And the best part? You don't need a gym or heavy equipment. A simple pair of light dumbbells or even 2 filled water bottles is enough to start. You can sit in a chair, lift the weights up to shoulder height and lower them slowly, or extend your arms out to the sides and gently bring them back down. Just 8-10 repetitions per move, a few minutes at a time, can build up into big results. I want you to picture this. Every time you lift those weights, you're not just lifting an object, you're lifting your confidence, your longevity, and your independence. Because a strong body means a well-nourished brain and a heart that doesn't have to struggle. So don't be afraid to try. Start small, go slow, and stay consistent. Those little dumbbells may become some of your greatest allies in protecting your health after 50. Have you ever woken up in the morning, stepped out of bed, and felt like your body was stiff as a board? I've had so many patients tell me, "Doctor, my shoulders feel heavy, my back feels tight, and sometimes even bending down to pick up something small feels impossible." And you know what? That's not unusual. After age 50, our flexibility naturally decreases, muscles and joints lose some of their mobility. But here's the good news. There's a simple remedy: stretching and gentle flexibility exercises. I think of Helen, 70 years old, who once told me she was afraid of exercise because she thought, "At my age, what's the point? It won't help anymore." I encouraged her to try just 5-10 minutes of light stretches every morning. A month later, she came back to me with a sparkle in her eyes. "Robert, I don't feel stiff anymore. I can bend down to tie my shoes without worrying about my back hurting." That was proof that sometimes the smallest habits create the biggest transformations. Stretching improves blood circulation, relaxes tight muscles, and helps prevent injury when you move. When your muscles and joints are more flexible, oxygen-rich blood flows more easily throughout your body, including to your brain, reducing your risk of stroke. Flexibility also gives you confidence in everyday movements. Standing up, sitting down, turning around, or simply picking up your grandchild without pain. And it doesn't take much to get started. Try simple moves like rolling your shoulders, tilting your head gently from side to side, bending forward to touch your toes, or reaching your arms overhead as if you're picking fruit from a tree. Just a few minutes in the morning, or after any activity, can make a real difference. Think of it as oiling the gears of your body, so the whole machine runs more smoothly. I want you to imagine this. Instead of beginning your day with heaviness, you open your eyes, stretch your arms wide, and gently loosen your body. In that moment, your blood flows stronger, your breathing deepens, and your mind feels awake and alive. A simple start, but one that promises a day filled with energy and a safer, healthier future. So don't underestimate stretching. It's not just a warm-up. It's a daily ritual of self-care, a gift you give yourself every single day. By now, we've gone through so many helpful exercises. Walking, yoga, tai chi, swimming, cycling, resistance training, even deep breathing. But I want to share with you one more little secret. A technique physical therapists here in the US often use when helping patients recover their nervous system. It's called the head tilt pump, or simply put, pumping blood to your brain with a head tilt. Here's how it works. Sit upright, shoulders relaxed. Slowly tilt your head to the right, hold for about 2 seconds, then return to center. Repeat on the left side. Just 10 times each way, once a day. Sounds almost too easy, doesn't it? But the amazing thing is, this simple movement stimulates blood flow through the vertebral arteries, those vital highways carrying blood to your brainstem, the control center that keeps you alert, breathing steadily, and your heart beating in rhythm. I think of Frank, 74 years old, a patient who once experienced a mini stroke. He lived in fear of those sudden dizzy spells returning. When I first showed him this technique, he laughed and said, "Doc, how could just tilting my head do anything?" But 2 weeks later he admitted, "Robert, my head feels lighter. The dizziness is less. I do it every morning now, just like brushing my teeth." And here's the point I really want to stress. It's not just about this one technique. It's about the mindset of building habits. You don't have to do all 10 or 12 exercises every single day. Instead, choose 3 or 4 that you enjoy and weave them into your own daily rhythm like a melody your body looks forward to. For example, a brisk 10-minute walk in the morning, a little resistance training at midday, 5 minutes of deep breathing in the afternoon, and then maybe a short yoga stretch or the head tilt pump in the evening. The key isn't intensity, it's consistency. Like a river that quietly but steadily shapes the land over time, it's the gentle repetition, day after day, that truly nourishes your heart and brain. And I want to leave you with this thought. We don't stop moving because we grow old. We grow old because we stop moving. Age is not the ending, it's an invitation. An invitation to care more deeply for your body, to honor each breath, each heartbeat, and each step as the treasures they are. My dear friend, we've walked quite a journey together. From gentle walks to deep breathing, from the flexibility of yoga to the steadiness of balance training. Every part I've shared with you is not just an exercise, it's a way of living, a way you can take charge and protect your heart, your blood vessels, and your brain. I want you to remember this. 80% of strokes can be prevented, and prevention doesn't come from one grand decision. It comes from small, steady habits, practiced day after day. You don't need to do all 12 exercises starting today. Just pick 3 or 4 that you enjoy and begin there. What matters isn't how much you do, but that you keep going and don't give up. I've seen patients in their 72nd and 82nd who regained their health, walked with confidence, and lived independently simply because they kept moving. And I've also seen those who gave up, let their bodies grow weaker, and ended up dependent on others. That choice, it lies in your hands. So I want to ask you, what do I want my years after 50 to look like? A tired, anxious body, or a vibrant life with steady steps and a clear mind? The answer is found in the choices you make today. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit like and share it with your loved ones. Who knows, your small action might just help save someone's health. And leave me a comment below. Tell me which exercise you're going to start with. I read every single one, and your stories are what keep me inspired to continue this journey with you. And always remember this: we don't stop exercising because we grow old. We grow old because we stop exercising. I'm Dr. Robert, 60 years old, and I believe that your body at any age is ready to be loved, cared for, and renewed. Thank you for spending this time with me. Keep your feet moving forward, keep your breath steady, and keep your heart and brain healthy and full of energy. I'll see you again in the next video.